Well, Squid Game Season 3 is officially upon us, and you can rest assured that it's chock full of small details to dissect. From superhero references to the symbolism of the dinner scene, we're here to discuss the most intriguing of them. Damn it, I haven't watched it yet! Spoilers! Squid Game Season 2 introduces the mother-son duo of Chang Joon-cha and Park Young-sik.
Ma? Mom, what are you doing here?
That's what I was gonna ask you!
Joon-cha may be old, but she has a secret weapon she keeps concealed, a blade hidden within her hairpin. It may seem odd that the guards wouldn't have checked any accessories on her person and would allow her to bring a weapon into the game. But that's probably all part of the fun for them and the VIPs. In Season 3, we finally get to see Joon-cha use her knife twice in quick succession. During hide-and-seek, Joon-cha stays with Kim Joon-hee as she gives birth. When the baby's delivered, she uses a knife to cut the umbilical cord. A short time later, she and Joon-hee try to escape when they're confronted by Young-sik, who at this point has failed to kill anyone and is at risk of getting eliminated himself. He turns his knife on Joon-hee and the baby, only for Joon-cha to stab her own son in the back, killing him. Joon-cha dies soon after, which isn't really a surprise. Her actress teased the fact her character wouldn't see the end of Squid Game Season 3 before it even came out. The knife serves two purposes: violence and practicality. It helps usher life into this world and also ends it. It's representative of the duality present within the game, which shows humanity at its worst, but also the hope that can arise from it. Squid Game has truly mastered the art of juxtaposing the show's horrors with innocent-seeming imagery. The whole vibe makes sense, since all these people are participating in children's games to avoid death and walk away with a ton of money. However, some terrifying implications may have gone over some folks' heads.
This is getting exciting.
For example, during the jump rope game, a song plays as a rope moves over the bridge. You'll need a translation to know what it's saying, but it foreshadows the deaths that follow. One lyric goes, little friend, turn around," when player 096 pushes players to their dooms, preventing them from fully crossing to the other side. Player 349 realizes there's no point going forward, and instead turns around so she can at least stop jumping. It doesn't go well for her. There are also lyrics containing instructions of touch the ground and now away you go, which are pretty transparent in their double meaning. If a player gets hit by the beam, they fall to the ground several stories below. Away they go. There's also touch your toe, which could refer to the fact that if someone doesn't jump, the beam hits their feet and they die. Many movies and TV shows have made use of creepy songs sung by children, but this one takes it to the next level. Depending on who you ask, Thanos might be the worst character of Squid Game Season 2. There's no denying the manic energy he brought to the games, and his name and Infinity Stone-coated fingernail polish made for fun Easter eggs for Marvel fans.
Red, orange, yellow, green, I'm a legend, Thanos.
He may have died at the end of Season 2, but it turns out the show wasn't done with comic book references yet. In the first episode of Season 3, Namgyu talks to Minsu about how Semi died the previous night, saying, "That thought she was Wonder Woman or something." It's an offhand remark that doesn't mean much on its own, but Wonder Woman actually gets another shout-out in the third episode as well. The VIPs discuss how Joon-hee may get a burst of strength from wanting to protect her newborn baby.
This might turn 222 into some kind of Marvel superhero.
Like Wonder Woman.
He's promptly corrected that Wonder Woman is a DC heroine, but the various references point to how American comic books have permeated the global zeitgeist. It's also interesting to note how the poor players can correctly reference these characters while the VIP has no idea Wonder Woman doesn't belong to Marvel. Superhero movies might be an escape from reality for these young people, but the rich elite are utterly out of touch with what's en vogue. It seems they're too busy watching people die in gruesome fashion to bother with comic books. One of the most intriguing Squid Game Season 3 theories that emerged before it dropped on Netflix was that the trolley problem would factor heavily into the plot. This is a thought experiment where a person is presented with a train barreling toward two different tracks that could kill two different sized groups of people. For instance, several people you don't know are on one side of the tracks while your father is tied to the other. Who would you save? This idea absolutely comes into play throughout Squid Game Season 3. When the players enter the room to play jump rope, the arena is structured like a railroad crossing. There's a signal that flashes green when the timer begins, and the narrow beam the players must traverse is painted like a railroad track. That all serves as sort of a prelude to when Song Gi-hun is presented with his own personal trolley problem at the end of Episode 4. The frontman gives Gi-hun a choice. Gi-hun can kill the handful of other remaining contestants so that he and the baby can walk out of the games alive, or he can allow them to gang up on him, killing both him, the baby, and Min-soo. Which lives carry more value? It's a classic trolley problem, and Gi-hun decides to spare the other men for the time being. Sun-yo is a self-proclaimed shaman who has a lot of ominous warnings for Gi-hun. Ultimately, it's pretty transparent that she's a fraud who possesses zero special powers. This becomes clear in Season 3 during the game of hide-and-seek, when Sun-yo has assembled a collection of followers that obey her commands in the maze. She ends up leading them into their deaths, while she almost gets out alive. Im Jong-dae betrays her right when they're all at the exit, taking away a key so that she remains trapped in the maze. She curses him out after this, yelling,
"The gods will punish you. They'll break your skull and yank your spine out. And then they'll mash your organs until they're ground to dust!"
And she's right. Jong-dae is one of the final contestants to make it to the last game, Squid Game. He falls from the top of a massive structure to the ground below. It's safe to assume that at least some of that stuff really did happen when he landed. In the hide-and-seek game, half the players are given keys to open doors in search of an exit, while the other half are given knives to kill those trying to escape. The bows of the keys and the crossguards of the knives, in opposite pink and teal color schemes, are adorned with plastic wings and jewels laid atop arrows. These design choices are obviously meant to fit with the general Squid Game aesthetic of children's toys turned into implements of violence. However, if you're not an anime or manga fan, you might not realize what they're specifically evoking: magical girl wands. In magical girl anime and manga series like Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor, Sakura, and Pretty Cure, the powerful heroines frequently use wands, rods, or staffs as tools and/or weapons. These magical items are fashionable as well as powerful. Because why shouldn't you look as cute as possible while saving the world? Winged and jeweled designs are common, a clear reference point for the designs of the keys and knives in the maze game. The dinner scene in episode 4 is fraught with tension, but it also holds multiple secret meanings for fans who pay close attention. It's notable that the room is shaped like a circle, as a sphere also plays an important role in the final game. To start it, a sphere embedded in the ground must be pushed. The final tower in the game is also shaped like a circle, so this is an ongoing motif throughout Season 3. It's worth noting that the table set for the finalists during Season 1 is shaped like a triangle, one of 3 symbols often used in promotional art and logos for Squid Game, and one of the shapes that can be seen forming a singular hole in the show's opening credits, along with a square. Those shapes have shown up in multiple games played on the show over the course of the series' 3 seasons. It's a blink and you'll miss it moment, but if you take a close look at the photos on the wall on Captain Park's apartment, he's got a bunch of snaps of fishing trips. One appears to include the frontman himself. It's not spelled out how the 2 men actually became fishing buddies. They probably weren't in the same game, given that there's usually just one survivor. We do know that in episode 4, Park's web of lies comes apart. Another photo features a recruiter. Fans have known that Captain Park was in cahoots with the frontman since he killed the drone pilot working with Junho's team of mercenaries back in Season 2. But it takes Junho and his team a little longer to figure things out. Choi Woo-sok finally cracks the case when he searches Park's home and finds a mask and costume that links him to the games. The local police temporarily delay Woo-sok from delivering the truth to Junho, but he gets through just in time.
Look, hey! Captain Park works for those bastards!
Wait, what?
He's one of those masked men!
The captain massacres much of his crew before Junho takes him out with a spear fishing gun. This ends Park's deliberate misdirection of Junho's agents away from the area where the island where the games are played is. As with every room that's used for the deadly competition of Squid Game, the labyrinth for the blade and key hide-and-seek game takes place in what looks like a child's romper room. It's covered with colorful designs, including neon handprints. These aren't that unusual in real playgrounds and daycares. They can be used to measure a child's height, or the shapes can be made into decorative animal shapes like turkeys. But these particular handprints appear to have a subtle second meaning. In the final room where the winning contestants must plunge the keys they've violently gathered into the lock of the last door, allowing them to continue to play, the handprints become a frantic cacophony of red stains, looking like they were made by people in a crowd crush. Considering how many horrifying things have taken place in that room, it wouldn't be surprising if this was the intended effect. The way the show combines the childish with the nightmarish is honestly second to none. At the end of Season 1 of Squid Game, there isn't much ceremony to Gi-hun's monetary prize when he wins. The game's overseers simply shove a bank card in his mouth and leave him on the street. It's later when Gi-hun is invited to meet Oh Il-nam that he gets that invitation in a black envelope with a pink ribbon. In Season 3, when Junho is presented with Kim Joon-hee's baby, he gets a card stating that player 222 won in another black envelope with a pink ribbon. While initially this simply seems like a thematic choice that fits in with the pink and black colors favored by the pink guards, Season 3 brings the color's true meaning to life. Viewers watch as each dead player killed in the games is placed in a black casket with a pink ribbon tied to it. These bodies are later harvested of their organs for the illegal black market trade, which the games is unsurprisingly involved in. It's an interesting juxtaposition between certain deaths and certain fortune, and obviously a way to tie the games right back into its themes and roots. The rich keep getting richer, the poor poorer, and to become rich like those in power is to give it all, life, body, and soul, to a black void. The ending of Squid Game Season 3 is even bleaker than you first thought. After Hwang In-ho drops off gi-hun's money to his daughter, he's riding in the backseat of a car traveling through downtown Los Angeles. Specifically, we see the car approach Spring Street in Gallery Row. This is an area that's been increasingly gentrified in recent years, but it still runs adjacent to the bleak Skid Row. In-ho then notices a recruiter playing Dokji with a man who looks worse for wear. This makes it readily apparent there is an American version of Squid Game, with the recruiter being none other than Cate Blanchett. The fact this scene takes place near Skid Row adds an extra dark layer to the show's ending, as the game continues to prey on society's most desperate. In case you didn't realize, Netflix is currently making an American version of Squid Game, which the final scene appears to directly set up. After getting past some of the big questions that the last scene of the series raises, you might notice some other details about the ending, including a curious choice in the final shot. While Blanchett's recruiter plays Dokji with a prospective Squid Game recruit in an alleyway, a lottery ad hanging in the window of a nearby store is visible in the edge of the frame. This calls back to the unhoused people being asked to choose between bread and lottery tickets in the Season 2 premiere. It's also fitting for the broader themes of Squid Game about the ways people who are desperate enough can be made to do anything for a chance to win big, even with extremely low odds of coming out on top.